welcome. You have tuned into Startup Central, and the first news for the day is that in November 2025, Teta closed a funding round of $8 million that is co-led by Owl Ventures and Bertelsmann India Investments. So we have Pratham Mittal, who's the founder of TETR College, with us to understand more about the funding and how they plan to use these funds. Hi, Pratham, thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us today on Startup Central.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Pratham, you have raised $18 million. That's co-led by Owl and Bertelsmann. How do you plan to use these funds? Take us through that first.
So essentially, I'll tell you what TETR is first. So TETR is an international university where we have students coming in from 60 different countries. And the concept is that students travel to a different country every semester for their education. And instead of just sitting in classrooms, they actually have to build a real business in whichever country they go to, right? So that's essentially what TETR is. We have a bachelor's program, a master's program, and a bunch of other online programs as well. And the fundraise that we have just done, we plan to use this to build our new campuses in Dubai, in the US, and in Singapore. That's going to be our major investment in the next couple of years.
Pratham, what is very interesting is that you offer BSc degrees in AI and tech management. Talk to us about how well these courses have done, how have they picked up? Because, given the kind of demand that you see for skill sets in AI and technology, you would have seen a growth. Have you seen a growth on a year-on-year basis, and what's the demand like for these courses?
No, definitely. I think every company is now struggling to adopt AI. And whenever our students come out having that expertise, having that exposure to new AI tools, to new AI concepts, I think they're embraced by the industry quite a bit. So we are seeing a huge uptick in interest in these kinds of programs that are rooted in artificial intelligence. And also we see a lot of interest coming in from all over the world. So we have students from US, from China, from Russia, from Britain, from Tokyo, from Taiwan, all over the world, not just in India.
So what are the current trends in education sector? What courses are the biggest drivers of growth for you? You've mentioned, that you have a diverse set of students that are traveling from all over the world. So what are the students really looking for? Because, eventually, whatever you study, it should lead to some kind of employability, it has to have some sort of a return. So in that sense, what are the courses that are really driving growth for you?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that, education has always been about exams and lectures and slides and grades and attendance and books. Students would study one night before the exam and forget everything the day after. And I think that education paradigm needs to change. We need to make education more experiential. You can't really learn how to swim by reading a book. Similarly, you can't learn AI, you can't learn business by reading books and sitting in classrooms and being closed in four walls for 4 years and spending so much money, right? And so, this experiential education is really where we are seeing a lot of interest from parents and students. Nobody wants to be now constricted to a classroom for 4 years, right? Listening to one teacher go on and on and on, sitting in a lecture where they don't even know what they're learning, how they're going to use it in real life later on when they graduate, right? So I think the biggest uptick that we're seeing in demand is for these kinds of programs, which are truly experiential in nature, right? You learn from practitioners rather than just teachers. You learn by doing rather than just from books and exams. And you learn by traveling the world rather than just by sitting in the same room for 4 years. I really look up to the medical education. A medical college is always inside a medical hospital. Real doctors teach and students do OPD right from year one, right? They learn by doing. Similarly, we need to bring that same concept to business education, to engineering education as well. And I think you will agree that the best way to learn journalism is to literally sit on that chair where you are sitting and learn by doing rather than by just reading a book,
Pratham, but you haven't answered my question. What are the courses that are the most in demand right now?
No, it's two courses. I think AI is hugely in demand, both at the undergrad and at the postgrad level. And of course, general business management, we are seeing, but also rooted in AI. So these two courses is where we are seeing the maximum amount of interest and uptick. But at the end of the day, students who come, they come for the experiential education, right? Because these courses are available around the world in every university. I think what sets us apart is the experiential nature of it all.
The kind of knowledge and expertise that experiential education gives you, the normal cut and dry textbook learning does not. But the typical colleges, getting in A grade B school, that at least guarantees you some sort of a job security. At least that's the mindset. With TETR College, what is the kind of employability rates that you have seen so far?
Yeah, so TETR is in its second year. We are yet to graduate a cohort. Our cohort haven't actually graduated yet. But there are two things, right? Almost 50 to 60% of my students actually do not want a job, right? They come from the category of being job creators. They're all starting their companies and they want to go down the entrepreneurial route. That's almost 50 to 60%. And the 40 to 50% students who do want jobs, they choose one of three areas. Either they choose consulting and finance, or they choose general management, or they choose sales and marketing, right? And so whenever they're looking for jobs, we have companies that we are empaneled with, right? Starting from a Bain, BCG, McKinsey, to a Google, Microsoft, to a Zomato, Noon, MR, Emirates. Around the world, we are empaneled with these companies. And so when the students are graduating, the companies come to the campus for recruitment, right? However, the reason we exist, the reason we built TETR College, and the reason we have raised funds is essentially to create job creators, right? And that's truly, truly our vision. Of course, if students want to still join companies, we would love to open those pathways for them. But our goal is to become job creators.
Also, Pratham, finally, TETR has also launched a $10 million fund called Teta Under-20. Tell us about that. What is that dedicated towards?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I really want our students to, set up companies and go entrepreneurship full blown. And for that, we have to unlock some funding for them. So as our students continue on their programs, they go from semester 1 to semester 2, semester 3. As their companies mature up, we want to be the first check into the company. We don't want them to go to angels and VCs outside and spend money fundraising. We would like to unlock funds for them as part of the college, right? So I always say that TETR is part college, part incubator. And we really want students to not have to worry too much about the funds as they're building the company. So as a college, if we can also provide funds to the students as angels, as a seed check, we think that unlocks tremendous opportunities for them. So that's why we have earmarked $10 million, right, over the next few years to invest in our student companies.
On that note, thank you so much for taking the time out and taking us through all of the great things that TETR College is up to. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again.